This is the 2021 Lexus LC500 Convertible. That's right, they took the Lexus that everybody loves and chopped off the top. Makes quite a statement, no? It also costs a lot of money. But is it any good? Let's find out. In 2012, Lexus released a concept car called the LFLC, and it previewed this. Sure, the concept was a little bigger, a little wilder, but really it previewed what the LC500 would be all about. Finally, a couple years ago, it came out. Big V8 engine, rear-wheel drive, everybody loved it. I remember because I was there. Now, they've got a convertible version of it. So for the first time, you can choose either a hardtop or a soft top Lexus two-door. What does the LC500 convertible compete against? Turns out not a lot, as big, luxurious convertibles are going the way of the Dodo or the Mercedes-Benz S-Class Cabriolet. The main competitor is the BMW M850i X-Drive convertible. However, this also competes nicely against the Mercedes-Benz SL, the Jaguar F-Type Roadster, the Bentley Continental GTC, and either the Aston Martin Vantage or DB11. One thing you can say about the Lexus compared to all that competition, it doesn't look like any of them. For the design section, we have to make a distinction between proportions and styling. I love the LC500's proportions. They are classic. It's like a Jaguar E-Type on steroids. Styling, I think it's a bit more problematic. Let's get into it. Look at this grille. Lexus's spindle grille, although this one is in 3 dimensions, it kind of bends up to the big wide hood. Then there's this area, and what is this? Well, this is either a fishhook or the Nike swoosh. This is the McLaren swoosh. That's a triangle, that's a boomerang, that's dripping mascara. It's a mess. And then they've just done some fundamentally weird things to the car. Like, normally you want the power peak, the highest point of the fender, to be right over the center of the wheel. Well, it's here. Then you start taking in the proportions, right? I mean, talk about classic Coke bottle, magnificent. The curve of this fender here, just so much metal. Also, the wheels are excellent. Then my favorite part is, look at this, the narrowest point of the car is right here. So that means that it flares out for the rear wheels. And when you have a big muscular rear wheel drive car, that's what you want. It just says aggression and power and everything. Just if you look at the big picture, this is one of those rare vehicles where, going from a hardtop to a convertible, I don't think it loses anything. And so stylistically, it's not my favorite car, but proportionally, the LC500 is a masterpiece. This is how you design a car's interior. It is exquisite, it is gorgeous, it is elegant. I love sitting in this vehicle. Is there anything wrong with it? Sure, nothing's perfect, but really all the stuff I could point out, it's all nitpicking, and I'll do a little bit of that, but let's start with what's so great about it. Primarily the leather. Look at this stuff. It's gorgeous. It's such a nice grade of leather. These seats, Lexus, I remember on the launch, they said they went through 50 iterations of seats before they settled on this one. And believe me, they chose wisely. Rolls-Royce released an entire press release about how on the new Phantom they put a bunch of stuff behind glass on the dashboard. Well, guess what? Lexus has done the same thing. There's a little tiny piece of Alcantara right here. Why? Well, to prevent reflections. There's some LFA design elements in here, like these little stalks, these Shrek ears or Frankenstein neck bolts. The LFA had something similar. Here's the controls for the roof. Nice and just hide them away when you don't need them. My biggest gripe is, of course, going to be, it has this Lexus trackpad, which just doesn't work that well, but pretend it's not there, right? Just set your presets, take a few hours, do that, then you can just scroll through them with this tuning knob right here. You're good to go. Again, I mean, everything is just so wonderful in this cabin that I just don't even care about the negatives. Like, small back seat, who cares? For the performance section, I gotta put a little teeny asterisk on the LC500, and that's because Someone at MotorTrend helped to tune this car. No, not me. It was Randy Post, our own professional race car driver. Lexus hired him as a consultant to help make the LC500 drive better. Under the hood, there is a big, naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 that makes 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes into a 10-speed automatic transmission, and it drives only the rear wheels. Now, because this is a heavy car and because it's only rear-wheel drive, if you look at the competition, say that BMW Convertible we were talking about, that makes 523 horsepower and it hits 60 in 3.5 seconds compared to 4.8 seconds for the Lexus. Two things. One is sort of a who cares? I've driven both. Trust me, this is the one you want. Also, the BMW has 2 turbochargers. This is naturally aspirated, which means that the Lexus sounds about 500 times as good as the BMW. For such a heavy vehicle, it's shocking how much fun and how rewarding it is to push this car hard. And it's one of the rare vehicles in the industry that everyone, and I mean everyone who's driven it, falls in love with it. They've just done a wonderful job. Is there a downside? Fuel economy. And you know, for something from the Toyota Motor Corporation, it's no Prius. 15 miles per gallon in the city, 25 miles per gallon on the highway. As far as safety goes, no agency has crash tested one of these, so I don't know what to tell you, except for the fact that it comes standard with all sorts of automatic safety features, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, smart high beams, and this low speed parking assist, which helps prevent accidents that happen at 9 miles per hour and below. How much? Okay, I said it cost a lot of money, and I wasn't kidding. The Lexus LC500 Convertible begins at a smidge over $102,000. This one right here, the way it's been optioned, costs over 113 grand. But how does the Lexus stack up against the competition? Quite well, it turns out. That BMW is 110,000 plus to begin. The Mercedes-Benz SL starts at over $115,000. The Jaguar F-Type Roadster actually does match up pretty well to the Lexus. So in terms of value, it's hard to recommend the LC500 Convertible here. Just know that it is a vehicle for people who either have or earn a lot of money. If there's one thing I want you to know about the 2021 Lexus LC500 Convertible, it's that it's a dreamboat. I can't stress how lovely this thing is just to sit inside of, let alone drive. I liked practically everything there was to like about the hardtop version. Who knew that by removing the roof, the car got that much better? Sure, some of the competition, they're quicker in a straight line, they go around a racetrack faster. Who cares? Look at what a statement this thing makes, both the outside and the inside, and then when that V8 soundtrack fills your ears. There are certain cars that you lay awake at night and you dream about. Well, this Lexus right here, this is one of them. To see vehicle rankings and a complete buyer's guide, please visit motortrend.com/cars.